Um, Good morning. Tell me on the poll, not the poll, sorry, in the group chat, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? Your favorite ice cream flavor. Ooh, butter pecan. I like butter pecan actually. Okay, vanilla, cookies and cream, chocolate. Oh, cookies and cream. Chocolate or vanilla. Okay. Oh, mint chocolate chip. Yeah, that might be my favorite. Mint chocolate chip. Mango. Ooh, that's interesting. Mango nada. Okay. Cookies and cream or mint chocolate chip. Mint. Oh, white chocolate raspberry. Okay. Mint chocolate chip or cherry and dark chocolate. Wow. Okay. You guys have some fancy ice cream flavors. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is start us off here. I'm going to give everybody whiteboard tools. So I want you to look at this picture here. This is a graph. And you're going to tell me everything you know about this picture. Okay, so try to use as many words in the vocabulary box, but if you can label an ordered pair, what are coordinates, where is the origin, where's the x-axis, where's the y-axis, y-intercept, x-intercept. So if you guys, I'm going to give you like a minute. Everybody can have whiteboard tools if you want to put a point, if you want to write something, if you want to type something. I'm going to open the room chat back up if you want to tell me something about this slide in the room chat. Tell me what you know about coordinate planes. Hey, Ben. No worries. We're just getting started. Good, Erica. Okay, good. I see someone wrote an ordered pair. Good, Stormy. It would be 5, -2. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I know it's getting a little crazy up there. Okay, I'm going to turn the whiteboard off. So we've had a lot of awesome things. Thank y'all so much for volunteering. I'm going to clear some of this off, not because it's like wrong or anything. I just want to be able to see what we're doing here. Okay, so let's start with ordered pair. Who can tell me in the group chat what is an ordered pair? Like what comes first? What makes up an ordered pair? Okay, good. Exactly. Good, good, good. So an ordered pair is how we describe the location of a point. Okay. And so it's really hard to say, oh, that point that's kind of in the middle, no, up a little, no, this one. So we use ordered pairs so that our readers and we can know exactly which point we're talking about. Okay. So ordered pairs are written as X, comma, Y. I'm going to write that up here. Let me get my pen. All right. So an ordered pair is written as X, comma, Y. And that's how we label a point. Okay. Coordinates is kind of the same thing as an ordered pair, X, comma, Y. So what are the coordinates? For example, if the ordered pair was 5, -2, the X would be 5, the Y would be -2. Not quite, Angel, but we'll go over that today. Good, Adrena. Okay, the origin is the point 0, 0, and it is right smack dab where the X and the Y axis meet. Oh, I thought you said that slope is 2. Smack dab, Alan. Yep. All right. Now the x-axis, let's highlight it, is the one that moves left and right. Yeah, but 2 for 1 is not the same thing as 2/5. So there's our x-axis. Now let's highlight our y-axis. The y-axis goes up and down. All right, the x-intercept, I'm going to type this out real quick, is where our graph crosses the x-axis. Let's make this look bigger. There we go. All right. So in this graph, I'm going to follow my line. Guys, the chat needs to be about math, please. I'm going to follow my line until I get to the x-axis and cross it, which would be at this point right here. So the x-intercept, if I wrote it out, it would be 5, 0, which makes sense, okay, because the x-intercept, if it's crossing the x-axis, that means the y value has to be 0. So for an x-intercept, we're going to have a number for x and always going to have 0 for y. Our y-intercept is where our graph, whoa, there we go, where our graph crosses the y-axis. That makes sense, right? A y-intercept, okay, duh. So again, I'm going to start up my graph on the far left. I'm going to follow it till it crosses this y-axis, which is going to be right here at -2. So in this case, the y-intercept is going to have 0 as a value for x and then a number for y. Okay, so that's kind of some of our new vocabulary that we're going to be talking about in Unit 3. Some of it might be new. Some of it you may have known for 10 years. I'm not sure, but those are just some key words we're going to be talking about. So today, we're going to find the slope of a linear equation when we're given a graph or 2 points. And then we're going to write the equation of a linear equation from a graph, or if we're given the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so we will know that we've got this down when we can do what I think is the hardest part, which is write the equation of a line if you're given a graph. Okay, so what is a linear function? Well, a linear function is a function with a constant rate of change, okay, or slope, okay. It has a straight line. Think about it. The word itself, linear, has line in it. So a linear graph is a straight line. So if you ever get a question with graphs and there's some straight ones, some curvy ones, some circles, okay, it's a linear function if it is a straight line. Okay, and it cannot have any exponents. Okay, so that's kind of some ways that you can remember what is a linear function. So let's take a look at this. Does the graph represent a linear function? Okay, let's look at the first one. It's a straight line. Yep, that's got to be linear. Okay. This next one, it has a curve in it, so it's not linear. This next one kind of curves and goes up, not linear. So basically, you're asking yourself, is the graph a straight line? All right, so now let's talk about what's kind of new for us today is what is an intercept? An intercept is a point where a function crosses, intercepts, intersects the x or y axis. For those of you that are like football fans, an interception, right, is where someone crosses in front and redirects the route, right? They take the ball, they cross. So An intercept on a graph, same thing. If we're looking for the point where the function crosses. So if it crosses the x-axis, it's an x-intercept. If it crosses the y-axis, it's a y-intercept. So let's take a look here at these graphs. How many y-intercepts does the graph have? We can see it has one y-intercept, and that's at the point 0, 2. And how many x-intercepts? It has one at the point 2, 0. All right. Again, how many y-intercepts? I'll open up the chat. Tell me how many y-intercepts and what. Oh, shoot, I didn't cover that up. I'll do it on the next one. The next one, I'll have you tell me the points. Yeah, it has one y-intercept at 0, 3. And one x-intercept at 4, 0. Good. All right, now this next one's a little tricky. This is what we call a horizontal line. It goes side to side. How many y-intercepts does it have? This is our origin, right? So it crosses down here. Okay, so now, does it have any x-intercepts? No. So it is possible to have one y-intercept and no x-intercepts. That's totally possible. Do you think it's possible to have no y-intercepts and one x-intercept? What would that look like? Good, Anya. Let's look at it. So here we go. This is a vertical line. It does not have a y-intercept, but it does have an x-intercept. And this is what we call a vertical, or yes, Elijah, straight up and down. This is a vertical line. Exactly. Okay, now let's talk about slope. What is slope? Slope, we're going to use this phrase mostly, rise over run. So if it has two x-intercepts, Angel, then that means it's probably got a curve in it. So then it wouldn't be a linear function. A function could have two x-intercepts, but it could not be a linear function and have two x-intercepts. Okay, so the slope is rise over run. What does rise over run mean? Okay, it means how far am I going up or down? Okay, rise could be up or down. And then run is left or right. It's also called, slope is the same thing as rate of change. That's another word for slope. Okay, and what we're doing with slope is we're basically measuring the steepness of the line. Okay, we're just measuring steepness. So we have a formula for finding slope when we're given 2 points. The formula is y values on top. So you're going to take the second y value. Let's put it in here. This y comes up here. The first y value goes down there. We're going to subtract them. Then the second x value, put a minus sign, and we're going to subtract the first x value. This might look a little bit confusing without numbers, but we're going to do this with numbers here in just a second. Before we do that, I want to show you a visual of the 4 different types of slope we can have. When we are determining slope, we're always going to start at the far left side of your graph. So always start at the far. Okay, so if I start at the far left side of this first graph that says positive above it, my graph is going up and to the right. If your graph is going up and to the right, it has a positive slope, which means you're going to get positive numbers. 4, 2, even 1/2. That's still positive. Okay, it does not have a negative sign in front of it. Let's look at the negative one. Again, I'm going to start on the far left side of my graph. This slope or this graph is going down and to the right. Okay, so this is going down. This would be a negative slope. So we're talking about negative numbers, -1, -4, -1/2. If it has a negative in front of it, it is going down and to the right, which makes it a negative slope. Yeah, exactly. You read graphs like you were reading words from left to right. All right, so now the next two are where sometimes we can get a little bit confused. A zero slope is when we have 0 on the top of a fraction. So 0 over some number. Okay, think about it this way. If you were walking, here's a little person. You're walking. You don't go up any hills. You don't go down any hills. So what is the steepness of your sidewalk? It's 0, right? It's not going up in steepness and it's not going down. So it's just 0. So it's 0 divided by some number. It could be 0 divided by 0. Okay, but you have to have a 0 on the top. Undefined is when you have some number on the top and 0 on the bottom. We can't divide by 0. Okay, so think about it this way. If this was like a building, this is like a skyscraper, here's some windows, and you're at the top and you said, hey, okay, come on down this blue line. You're just going to go straight down, right? It's not a rate of change. You're not going down at a rate of 2 miles an hour. Okay. So this is undefined. There is no way to define that. Okay. So if you have a number divided by 0 or a vertical line, that slope is undefined. Okie dokie. Let's talk about finding slope using some points. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen the slope, dude. I can, have you seen, there's like a happy face and it will tell you like, oh, here it is. It's this, okay, let me show you him. I'll get you that link here in just a second. Oh. I just want, let me show you. If you want to go to this link or open it, you can look at it later, but it's just like a funny little face for slope. Okay, so let's find slope using 2 points. When we are given 2 points, we're going to identify. So we have to label our y's and our x's. We're going to plug it into the formula, subtract, and simplify. I want to advise you to be very careful because some of you think you can just do it in your head and not have to label, but that will leave room for mistakes. So try and label. I know it's tedious, but let's say we're given these 2 points. We'll call this number 1. And they say, okay, what's the slope between -12, -5 and 0, -8? The first thing we're going to do is go on top of our, we're going to go on top of our ordered pair. And we're going to write x1 and y1, right? Because this is the first set of, what these little numbers mean is like first set, second set. Okay. So ordered pairs are x comma y. So this is going to be x1 and y1, x2 and y2. Okay, the next thing I want you to do, and the reason I say this is because I've already seen a few mistakes, is you are going to draw your fraction sign and put your minus signs, okay? You're going to see why that's an important step in just a second. Okay, put your minus signs there already. Okay, so I've labeled x1 and y1. I've labeled x2 and y2. I've got my fraction sign with the division or with the subtraction signs. So now I plug it in. So the first one I'm going to find is y2. That's now easy to find, okay, because I already labeled it. So we've got -8. I already have my minus sign. What is y1? -5. I have to include that double negative. Okay, x2 is 0. 0 minus -12. Now you can see why it was so important to include that minus sign from the beginning. Because if not, you might only do 0 minus 12. Okay. All right, so on the top, -8 minus -5, that becomes +5. So -8 plus 5 is -3. 0 minus -12, that becomes +12. So -3 divided by 12. And we always want to simplify. So this would become -1/4. That would be my slope. We want to leave this as a fraction. Do not change this to a decimal, because when we have to start graphing these points, which is the next lesson we're going to do, this is our slope. So this is how we know how many to rise, how many to run, and which way. If I just write it as 0.25, I've lost that rise over run. All right, let's do the second one. So again, I've already labeled them for you. I'm going to ask that you label them when you're doing your homework and your tests so that you do not get confused. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my division sign and my subtraction signs. Now I'm going to just start plugging in my numbers. Y2 is -16. Y1 is 6. X2 is -15. X1 is 19. Do it in your calculator. You do not have to try to do these in your head. Type in your calculator, -16 minus 6. That way we don't make silly mistakes. Okay, because -16 minus 6 is -22. We don't want to make silly mistakes. It's okay if you already tried to do that. That's okay. Obviously, I cannot force you to use a calculator, but using a calculator helps to eliminate some of these mistakes. All right, so -15 minus 19 is -34. Okay, first things first. A negative divided by a negative becomes a positive. So first we're going to get rid of that negative. Then we're going to simplify. So what can I divide by on the top and the bottom? I'm going to divide by 2. And I will get 11 over 17. Okay, questions about finding slope using this slope formula? I don't. I actually write with this little pen. I have like a tablet and a pen. Okay, let's do another problem that was on your 3.02 quiz, okay? So we're going to talk about slope-intercept form, okay? If you are given the slope and the y-intercept, you can find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form by just plugging it in. So what is slope-intercept form? It's y equals mx plus b. Let's talk about what each of these is. What does m represent? M is going to represent our slope. Yep. And B could be positive or negative. Okay. B is our y-intercept. Okay. So for instance, if they give us a problem and say, okay, write the equation if your slope is 1/2, your y-intercept is -3. Okay. Easy. So slope, that's M. Y-intercept, that's B. This is my formula, so I'm just going to plug it in. Y equals 1/2 times x minus 3. What if they give you the slope? Slope is 2. Okay. They give you this point, 2, 0. Okay, let's graph where that would be. 2, 0. That point would be right here. So they did not explicitly tell you that 2 is the y-intercept. But if you know, sorry, that should be, hold on, this should be 0, 2. Let's rewrite that because that's, there we go. Okay, so if they don't explicitly give you the point, but you know that the point 0, 2 is a y-intercept, now I plug it in. So that means that my b is positive 2. So I come over here and I say, okay, y equals, instead of m, I'm going to put 2, so 2 times x plus 2. It's that simple. Now, here's an extra question that was on your quiz. Is the point 3, 4 on the line? Okay. If something is on the line, that means when I plug in 3 for x and 4 for y, I get a true statement. So let's try to do that. So instead of y, I'm just going to use the same equation here, but I'm going to plug in. So instead of y, I'm going to have 4. So 4 equals 2 times 3 plus 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Does 4 equal 8? No. So is 3, 4 on the line? It is not. That's right. It is not. Okay. I want you to write the equation of a line that has a y-intercept of -3 and a slope of -4. So remember, this is our slope-intercept form. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Write out your equation, and then you're going to tell me, is the point 1, 2 a solution? A solution means the same thing. Is it on the line? If I plug in 1 for x and 2 for y, do I get a true statement? some answers. So y-intercept of -3. Some of you might have flipped the order because you saw y-intercept first and you just plugged in for m, but we want to try to label, okay? So we get y equals -4x plus -3. You're not really ever going to see that plus -3 as an answer choice because we're always going to simplify. So you would get -4x minus 3. If you leave it as plus -3, it's not going to be counted wrong, but just for sake of like star testing and trying to prepare you for that, you'll almost never see plus a negative. Okay, so now is the point 1, 2 a solution? Here's my x, here's my y. So I'm going to come over here and say 2 equals -4 times 1 minus 3. Is that a true statement? 2 equals -7. Not, right? So that point is not a solution or not on the line, okay? When will it be a solution? If I got 2 equals 2. If you get one number equals the same number, okay? Okay, what if you are given a graph? Where are my coordinate lines? Okay. So let's just pretend this has a graph there. Let's just look at the steps. We'll cover that up so it's not confusing. Okay. So first things first, find your y-intercept. Write it out. Just write b equals. Find your slope. The reason that we always want to keep our slope as a fraction is because if we're given a graph, we are going to count rise over run. Okay, so let me show you. I'm going to write this out over here. Rise over run. Rise does not always mean you're going up. Okay, so rise could mean I'm going up or down. If I go up, I'm going to write the positive number. If I'm going down, I'm going to write negative. Like if I go down 2, I'm going to write -2. Okay. Run, if I run to the right or move to the right, that's moving to the positive numbers. That's going to be a positive number. If I'm going to the left towards negative numbers, I'm going to write a negative sign. Okay. So hopefully this one's on here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to cover up these steps so we can just talk about it. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is find my y-intercept. This is my y-axis. I'm going to go down. Where does it cross? Right here. So I'm going to say, okay, what is my y-intercept? That would be at 1, 2, 3, -4. Is anyone confused about how I got -4? Okay, good deal. So now we have to find our slope. Okay. To find the slope, I'm going to pick another point that crosses at another whole number. So for instance, if I looked at like this point right here in the middle, that doesn't cross at a whole number. So I want to find one that works nicely. So I could do, just to make it a little bit difficult, I'm going to do this point right here. Okay, so now to find the slope, I'm going to do rise over run. So from my starting point, my y-intercept, how many do I need to go up to get to the red point? Let's count it. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went up 6, so that's a positive. Now I'm going to move over. I go 1, 2, 3. I went to the right, so that's positive. 6 divided by 3 is what? 2. Yep, 2. So my slope is 2. Okay, so now you tell me, what would the equation of my line be? Yeah, that's totally fine. So that's the thing is like 2 means I could go up 2 and over 1. So I could have gone to that point or this point. All right, so if I rewrite this, I get y equals 2 times x minus 4. Yep, good. All right, I want to try another one with you since my lovely lines didn't show up. I'm going to switch over to the whiteboard and do one more with you. Okay, good. I'm glad that some of y'all are thinking this is easy. All righty, so let's write the equation of this line. Step 1, find your y-intercept. Step 2, find your slope. Good, so here's my y-intercept at positive 2. Find another point that it crosses to. I'm going to choose this point down here. Count your rise over run. So I went down 2, so that would be negative 2. Then I went left 2, so that's another negative 2. What is negative 2 divided by negative 2? Positive 1. Yeah. Okay, so let's write this. Y equals, good, 1x plus 2. Or on your test, they will probably just have it as x plus 2. Not 2x, just x. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Even if you have already done this and unless you got a 100, I want you to go back to the course, log in, and go take your 3.02 quiz. Everything we just talked about on the Bitmoji, everything we just talked about is on that quiz. Okay? So if you have not used all 3 attempts, Angel, you still have a third attempt left, but you already scored 100, so you're good. If you did not score a 100, it's just because her eyes are closed. If you didn't score 100, go log in right now and take this test while it's fresh in your mind. Jonathan, you got an 80%. One second, Erica, I can look it up. Okay, good job, Adrena. You are good to go. So, Erica, you've used all 3 attempts, and it looks like you got a 74. Do you want, hold on one second. I think I can reset it if you want to go in and take it again now that we've gone over this. All right, guys. So please go log in and take your test, your quiz. Okay, hold on one second about the TFAR question. Okay, Erica, go ahead and try to take it again. Yeah, Erica, sure.
So yesterday they were marking my answers wrong, but it was showing like the correct answer. That's how I got of a score.
Yeah, do you remember I emailed you back and said I changed your grade?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then you're good. You don't have to take it again. That's totally fine. Okay, Maeve, let's see. Okay, Maeve, what browser are you using? Sky, I'm going to find your score for you, okay? Give me just a second. Maeve, can you tell me what login you are using? Okay, that's fine. But what login? Like what ID number? What is the error message that it's giving you? I'm going to try to log in like on my computer and as you. Yeah, of course, Sky, you have 2 more attempts. Yeah, Stormy, that's totally fine. I just have to stop the recording.